Thank you so much for meeting with me today. Do you mind stating your name first?
I am Shay Fairley. I'm exceptional children's teacher at C.C. Spalding Elementary School.
Thank you. Today for my interview, my first question is, what led you to working with children who have special needs or exceptional children?
Well, what led me to working with students with special needs is that my nephew was born at 21 weeks and he was 700 cc's. He was the size of a baby rat and his feet just dangled off of your hands. He was supposed to be dead by the age of 5, but he's 22 now.
That's amazing.
And yes, it is. And the doctors had said that he wouldn't walk when he was supposed to, that basically we would have to take care of him for the rest of his life, that he wouldn't be able to do things as simple as toileting or bathing himself or feeding himself, that we would have to do those things for him. But he started walking at the age of 1 with braces on his legs, and he went to a special school because he had to have speech and OT and all the different services. And I was in high school when he was transferred into public school. He went to a special ed public school, and I used to go to the meetings with my mom, and we looked at his IEPs, and I would go through those IEPs in high school like, no, he needs this and we need to be doing this. And I was so passionate about it because I wanted what was best for him, and I wanted to make sure that they were doing what they needed to do in order for him to grow and to develop. And so, like I said, now he's 22, he bathes himself, he does all the things that the doctors and therapists said that he wouldn't do. And for me, I felt like if we had not advocated for him, if we hadn't did those things for him, then he wouldn't be where he is. And so I wanted to do that same thing for other kids who maybe didn't have an advocate, didn't have someone that could speak up for them and say, no, let's do it this way, or let's, help them. We can help them this way. And so I wanted to be that voice. And I fell in love with special education and didn't know that's what it was at a young age, and I wanted to do that for the rest of my life. I wanted to have that feeling of impacting the lives of people who society has written off and said, hey, they can't do this and they can't do that, just to prove them wrong and say, hey, you know what? Everybody is different. They learn different, and we all have to work together because we all matter in society and we all contribute in our own way. And so I wanted to make that lasting impact.
That's truly amazing to hear. My next question is, when you started, what challenges did you face?
When I first started doing special education, one of the challenges that I faced was working with regular ed teachers, veteran regular ed teachers, and those are teachers that have been teaching, as they would say, teaching since Moses, or they've been teaching for a long time. And for me, it was, this teacher, she's fresh out of college, and she wants to come into my classroom and take over because I had to do co-teaching. And once we built that relationship and they saw that, my goals were the same as their goals, and it wasn't about me taking over their classroom, but it was about us working together, because it wasn't our students and my students or their students, it was our students together. And for me, it was about, let's work together as a team, because I'm a highly qualified teacher, you're a highly qualified teacher, and you're a veteran teacher. So there are things that you have experienced and things that you've done that I can definitely grasp. And then there are different things that I know coming fresh out of school that may be new to you, that may be beneficial to you. And if we use our strengths together, then we can become powerful. And then being so powerful, we can impact lives. And that's what education is all about. So breaking down that barrier of what inclusion and co-teaching was perceived versus how it really is.
Okay. What are some skills you've acquired while working with children who have special needs?
So some skills I've acquired is definitely relationship building, because that is key. Building relationships and making sure that they are sincere, because kids can pick up when you are, as they call, phony, or if you're 100 in their sense. So, making sure that you're sincere and you're genuine in building those relationships with them and in working with them. And then also making sure that you understand the aspect of what's going on when it comes to the special education process, knowing the paperwork aspect of things and the legality and the different terms, and being knowledgeable of EC policies and procedures and different laws.
Okay. how have you used these skills you've attained in your special needs classroom outside of the classroom?
So I work with other kids in the community. I do private tutoring, and then I consult for different charter schools and other agencies and even parents in regards to special education law procedures, writing IEPs, training special education teachers and regular teachers and co-teaching relationships, and demonstrating what that looks like. Doing the 6 models of co-teaching, taking the skills as far as with the paperwork aspect of things, and writing smart IEPs with goals that are measurable and understandable, IEPs that are parent friendly and the language is parent friendly so that parents can understand the terminology and what they are, what you're saying about their child being able to do. So using all those different things in the community as well, and providing that feedback for parents to sit down and understand what the special education process is all about.
Okay. And what do you feel that you could give to a teacher that's starting out in special education?
One of the things that my biggest piece of advice would be Q-tip. Quit taking it personal.
Okay.
Don't take it personal, because when you come into this profession, you're going to have kids that are one day they're going to be cool, calm, and collect, and the next day they may be climbing up the wall. But you can't look at it as if it's the child. You have to look at the disability and how the disability impacts the child, and not how the child impacts the disability, because it's 2 totally different things. So in looking at the different barriers and things that are going on that, impact the child and that causes them to have these learning deficits or these behavior challenges, looking at that and making sure that you understand that is not always a reflection of you as a teacher, but you have to look at the dynamics of what the child is going through. If they have a lot that's going on at home, and then they're coming into the school and the school setting is chaotic, then they're probably not going to be on their best or be at their best, because there's so many factors and dynamics that surround that, and that impact them. So understanding the importance of relationships and building those rapport with the students, and then being confident in your ability to instruct. Okay. Not being fearful and not being afraid to ask for help. Your first year teacher, you're fresh out of school. There are things that you can learn in college and in the books, and there's things that you can learn by practice and application. When you put your pedal to the metal and you get in there and you begin to learn. That's the best teacher, learning from experience and taking those experiences and being able to reflect on it and say, okay, you know what? I did really good with that, but you know what? This part right here, I may need some additional support. And don't be afraid to feel like, well, I just got out of school, I should know this. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because the smartest person is the person that knows how to ask for help.
Thank you so much. That is all I have, and I truly appreciate you doing this for me.
No problem. Thank you.